I got pregnant, my father kicked me out, saying I had brought shame to the family. Years later, when he ended up homeless after gambling everything away, he called me. I said, "The family won't take you back. You brought shame to it." 6 years ago, I was 19 and dating Mason, 21. We'd been together for 2 years, and things were good. I was working at a local diner, saving up for community college. Mason was doing construction work, learning the trade from his uncle. Dad actually liked him, which was rare. He hadn't approved of any of my previous boyfriends. Then I missed my period. 2 positive pregnancy tests later, my whole world turned upside down. I still remember the morning I told Dad. "Dad," I said, "I need to tell you something." He looked up and I swear he already knew. "I'm pregnant." The silence that followed was the longest of my life. "Not," he said. "No daughter of mine is going to be a teenage mother. You'll get rid of it. Mason and I want to keep the baby," I said. "We've talked about it," and he slammed his hand on the table so hard his coffee mug fell over. "You've brought shame to this family," he shouted. "Your mother would be disgusted." That's when something in me snapped. "Don't you dare bring Mom into this," I said. "She would have supported me." "Get out," he said. "Pack your things and get out. You're no daughter of mine." I had 24 hours to pack my life into garbage bags. Mason came with his truck and we loaded everything while my dad sat in his chair, watching TV like we didn't exist. The last thing I saw as we drove away was him closing the curtains. Mason's sister Isabella took us in, but things weren't like some fairy tale where love conquers all. Those first months were hell. We slept on a pull-out couch in her living room, and I spent most mornings throwing up in her only bathroom while she was trying to get ready for work. I could tell she was getting frustrated, even though she tried to hide it. Mason and I fought. A lot. The stress of everything. The pregnancy, being basically homeless, working terrible jobs. It almost broke us. He'd come home exhausted from working construction, and I'd be emotional and sick from the pregnancy hormones. We'd snap at each other over stupid things like him leaving his work boots in the way, or me using up all the hot water. There was one really bad night when he didn't come home until 3 a.m. I was convinced he'd finally had enough and left me. Turned out he'd been working an extra shift at a warehouse, but he hadn't told me because we weren't really talking that week. When Mia was born, things got harder in different ways. She had colic and would cry for hours. The medical bills started piling up because there were complications with the delivery. Mason took a second job at night, so I was alone with a screaming baby most evenings. I was so exhausted I once found my phone in the refrigerator and cried for an hour about it. We moved 4 times in 3 years. Each apartment slightly less terrible than the last. Our first place had black mold that made Mia sick. The second had neighbors who dealt drugs. The third was okay, but the landlord doubled the rent without warning. We're in a small house now. Nothing fancy, just a basic 2-bedroom with a tiny yard. But it's ours. Well, ours and the bank's for the next 29 years. Then yesterday, my phone rang. Unknown number. "Isabella?" It was my dad's voice, but different. Rougher. Desperate. "I need help." Turns out, his gambling addiction had finally caught up with him. He'd lost everything. His house, his savings, even his car. The bank was foreclosing, and he had nowhere to go. "I know I don't deserve it," he said, "but you're all I have left." I stood in my kitchen, looking at Mia's kindergarten pictures on the fridge, the granddaughter he'd never met, looking at the life I'd built without him, and I made a decision. "You're right," I said. "You don't deserve it. The family won't take you back. You brought shame to it." I heard him inhale sharply at his own words being thrown back at him. "You know what's ironic?" I continued, surprising myself with how steady my voice was. "When you kicked me out, everyone in town knew. You made sure of that. You told them all about your shameful daughter who got herself pregnant. I had to walk past people whispering about me at the grocery store. Mrs. Wilson at the corner store wouldn't even look me in the eye anymore." I paused, letting that sink in. "And now? Those same people have watched you gambling away everything at casino every weekend. They've seen you borrowing money you never pay back. That shame you were so worried about, you brought it on yourself. Isabella, I had some bad luck. But if you just... Bad luck?" I cut him off. "Uncle Luke told me about the 3 times he tried to get you into gambling addiction treatment. Your friends at the plant tried to help too. But you chose this, Dad. Just like you chose to throw away your daughter and granddaughter. Now you get to live with those choices." He started to say something else, but I hung up. Then I blocked his number.